Okay, this is Croven here with T-Days once again. We have the next match in the Alliance tournament here. We got Star Fraction, who has brought an Abaddon, 2 Apocalypses, a Damnation, a Guardian, 2 Kitsunes, and 2 Retributions.
And for the R0NIN, we have 2 Nighthawk, 2 Tengu, 2 Drakes, 2 Kitsunes, and an Enyo.
And we have the go call in local from CCP Claw, and it looks like the match is going to be underway. Again, kind of similar setups to what we saw in the last match.
Yes, we've got the sort of 3 battleships with the bonus from the Damnation there as the Amar Command ship, so extra armour for the Star Fraction. The Guardian is being primaried at the moment for the Star Fraction by the R0NIN. R0NIN seem to be taking some shield damage on one of their Tengu.
Yeah, Guardian now for Star Fraction already at about half armor. If he goes down, then this match could be very short for Star Fraction.
Yes, the Guardian is definitely not holding up very well at all, and apparently the R0NIN have got a large amount of DPS drones out, so I'm assuming that they are currently swarming that poor Guardian, and he's about to hit structure.
Yeah, and the Guardian does have a host of armor repair bots around him, but by the looks of it, it's not going to be enough as he enters structure now, and we may be losing him here very quickly. Half structure.
And there he goes, pop. So we've now lost the Guardian, which may cause a problem. It depends on whether or not it was bait or whether it was actually required for the Star Fraction team to actually continue.
Very true. We have seen ships used out of their general role before as bait. We see a couple of the frigates now for R0NIN taking damage. One of the Crusaders as well as one of the Ishkers taking a significant amount of shield damage. Meanwhile, one of the Retributions for Star Fraction also taking damage.
Yeah, that Retribution currently in half armour. Obviously, without the Guardian, they're not going to be able to rip him back that easily. And meanwhile, they seem to be the R0NIN seem to have split their fire between a few of them. Maybe that's something we need to look at that and see where that's coming from. But that Retribution of Vardamus is in structure now for Star Fraction and is about to go down. And there he goes.
Yeah, what it looks like is the frigates are actually shooting one another, and that's why we're seeing some of the damage spread. We've lost one of the Kitsunes now for Star Fraction, well, we already lost that. It's the Retribution that we lost. We have one of the Tengus for R0NIN now taking shield damage. One of the Drakes had been taking damage. That appears to have stopped in order to focus on this Tengu.
Yeah, and we lost that other Kitsune. Apparently the Abaddons have got tachyons on, so it's obviously a range-based team.
Yeah, and that's an interesting choice to bring in tachyons to the tournament. Though, even with beam lasers on the Abaddon capable of a large amount of damage, we're seeing now the second Retribution for Star Fraction at about 40% armor, and the first Apocalypse has just dipped into his armor as well.
Yeah, he's now we have to see how he can tank without that Guardian, whether or not he's actually got enough buffer to keep going. Meanwhile, on the R0NIN side, not very much damage being applied. So the current field is 2 Apocalypse, Abaddon and Damnation, Retribution and 2 Crusaders for the Star Fraction, still playing against, on the R0NIN side, 2 Nighthawks, 2 Tengu, 2 Drakes, which are obviously tournament favourites, and an NU.
Yeah, and we're seeing that looks like now maybe some armor bots. Yeah, armor bots on that first Apocalypse. He may also be locally tanked. It's kind of hard to tell with all the effects going on around him right now. The damage now, more damage on one of the Drakes for the R0NIN. They may have slacked off on the Tengu here. That Apocalypse now, he's just about to leak into structure, and that will very quickly be the end of him.
Yeah, he's definitely got a local tank going as well, but it looks like it's broken completely at this point. Structure damage coming along. There we go, structure. He's nearly in 50% structure and will be going down very, very shortly. 10% structure, and he goes pop. So Apocalypse, Abaddon, Damnation, 2 Crusaders on the Star Fraction team, playing off against 2 Nighthawks, 2 Tengu, 2 Drakes, and the Enyo on the R0NIN side. And it's looking like the R0NIN are definitely on top of this.
Yeah, one of those drakes for R0NIN has about 50% shield damage, but still hasn't reached peak recharge, and with that battleship going down, he may be able to hold out long enough for R0NIN to finish off the rest of the star fraction here. It's worth noting the R0NIN, I don't believe they've taken any losses so far, so this could be yet another flawless victory for the tournament, as that second Apocalypse, R0NIN Ashbark's Apocalypse for star fraction, 50% armor now.
Yeah, he's definitely not holding very up at all, and I think he's going to fold very, very shortly. One of the drakes on the R0NIN side is quite low on shields. He's probably getting around his peak recharge, and if that Apocalypse goes down there, there's probably no way they're going to volley past that peak regen. They do seem to be firing on the R0NIN Enyo at this point, though. I don't know whether the Crusaders have got in range. I'll just have a quick look.
It is possible that you're seeing a little bit more. And now with that Apocalypse has gone down, so now once again we're down to a Damnation and an Abaddon on one team for star fraction. However, the R0NIN still with 2 Nighthawks, 2 Drakes, 2 Tengus, and an Ishkur, and their 2 Crusaders as well. And now the Abaddon has lost almost all of its shields very, very quickly and already into armor. We'll see how well this is tanked.
Yeah, the Enyo's got a swarm of Warrior 2s on him at the moment, and he's just about to hit 40% armor. And well, meanwhile, on the other side, Star Fraction's Abaddon is at 75% armor and dropping fairly quickly.
Yeah, a little bit faster than I might have expected, though with the entire other team on the field, it shouldn't be too surprising that he's losing armor at the rate that he is, down to about 50%. That Enyo seems to have stabilized now. Oh no, and as I say that, he takes another chunk of armor, down to about 25%. So the flawless victory here may be in jeopardy after all. The Abaddon now down to about 15% armor as the Enyo now runs out of armor, so we'll see who goes down first.
Yeah, it looked like the Enyo was actually being shot at by the Abaddon as well, so they're obviously trying to at least get some points for this, and they'll risk everything to try and get that one ship down. Obviously there's no bonus to getting a flawless victory, and unfortunately for Star Fraction they've just lost that Abaddon. So we have Damnation and 2 Crusaders playing off against 2 Nighthawks, 2 Tengu, 2 Drakes, and the Enyo, which is pulling some of its armor back.
Yeah, you know you're down to desperation when you're trying to shoot tachyons from an Abaddon at a frigate. It's not terribly likely that you're going to do a lot of damage with that. The Damnation, now the final ship remaining for the Star Fraction, already out of shields, dipping into armor. Like you said, the Enyo seems to have gotten out of harm's way. He's actually starting to regen some shields now, so not taking any more damage.
Yeah, and unfortunately I've just been informed that I actually had the Crusaders on the wrong side of my screen, and they're actually part of the R0NIN, so we actually only have the Damnation on the Star Fraction side.
I was curious about that. I could have sworn it was just the Damnation. So he's now down to about 80% of his armor, and again we had yet another waiting game on our hands. Fortunately, this one should be very short, as the entirety of the R0NIN team is bearing down on that Damnation.
Yeah, this is just going to drop fairly quickly at this point. Everything's getting into range, and it'll be a flawless victory for the R0NIN, and obviously very strong showing from them.
Yeah, if this is in fact the RUR team from last year, I'm very excited to see what they're gonna keep bringing. Very strong setups for the entire tournament last go around, made it all the way to the end, and lost to the heavily favorited Pandemic Legion. So we'll see if they're able to make another run at it this year, as that Damnation now almost out of armor and should be going down relatively soon.
Yeah, he's got a sliver of structure damage, so they're beginning to get to that point where the armor is no longer taking the brunt, and as the rest of the armor goes away, it's going to drop in the next few minutes.
And now he's entering structure, the formidable buffer tank. Oh, now down he goes in an instant, and it is a flawless victory for the R0NIN. And with that, we will hand it back to you, Soundwave.